For having 4 limbs amputated, the blood loss was really minimal. Without paying attention not even to that at that point, I take out the cell phone I just put back in the pocket, but my fingers are shivering, I can't push the buttons well. By the way, what is the number for the ambulance? 117? 115? Damn, this is a number I should have registered in my address book. Amboolens. I do not need it. Still not losing consciousness even with that quadruple amputation, with a powerful tone of voice and antiquated expressions, she spoke to me. Thus, give thy blood to me. My fingers, which were dialing a number, stopped. And then, I suddenly remember my conversation with Hanekawa this afternoon. A rumor spread only between the girls. What was it? What did she say? At night. Don't go out at night alone. www.bakatsuki.org web link 9/20. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 003 Bakatsuki. Blonde hair. Blonde hair. Blonde hair illuminated by the streetlight, the blonde hair was dazzling. And she has no shadow. She was standing under the lone-lit streetlight in the surround, like shown by the bright spotlight over a stage, and her blonde hair illuminated by the streetlight was really blinding. However. Really. She had no shadow. Without any shadow of doubt. She really doesn't have one. My name, and then she speaks. My name is Kizumonogatari Hartenderblade. The iron-blooded, hot-blooded, cold-blooded vampire. She said. With those ragged clothes. And missing 4 limbs. Yet still domineering. Inside her opened lips I can see 2 sharp fangs. Sharp fangs. I will swallow thy blood to make it my flesh, so give thy blood to me. A vampire. I said, while catching my breath. Shouldn't you be immortal? I lost too much blood. I cannot regenerate anymore, nor shapeshift. At this rate I will die. www.bakatsuki.org web link 10/20. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 003 Bakatsuki. A worthless human should consider it an honor to become my flesh. My feet don't stop shaking. Just what's going on? Just what did I get dragged into? Why does a vampire suddenly appear in front of me and on the verge of death? Vampires that shouldn't exist do exist. An immortal vampire is dying. Is this for real? Hey. I was so shaken I was unable to speak, and she seemed to grimace at me. Actually, it may have been a grimace of pain. At any rate she had lost all arms and legs. What? What is the matter? Thou canst save me, thou knowest. Dost thou think thou wilt ever receive such honor elsewhere? Thou doth not need to do anything, just offer me thy neck and I will handle the rest. Blood, you say? Couldn't you do a transfusion? I have to admit I wasn't calm during that question. I don't know what's going on. What kind of joke is this? She. Kizumonogatari Hartenderblade was probably thinking the same thing too, so there was no response. No. She might not have the strength to respond anymore. Oh, how much do you need? This question was more specific, so she answered to it. For the time being, with thy share I can endure this emergency. www.bakatsuki.org web link 11/20. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 003 Bakatsuki. I see, my share. Hey. I'll die from it then. But I swallowed my comeback. Her eyes, looking at me. Her cold eyes. Those are eyes looking at food. I am not kidding, I am saying that seriously. A worthless human. She is about to die. And she is trying to live by eating me. She is not seeking my help. She is preying on me. She is just trying to live by her own means. That's right. What am I saying? What am I doing? What am I going to think following the premise of saving this girl? Am I going crazy? She is a vampire. In other words, she is a monster. I don't know why her arms and legs are missing, and why she is about to die anyway. The reason is not important. Why should I get dragged in? A wise man keeps away from danger, right? What point there is in entering the tiger's den when there's no tiger cub? One, this person is not a human, she is a non-human. A superhuman being. www.bakatsuki.org web link 12/20. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 003 Bakatsuki. Hanekawa described it like that. What is the matter? Blood. Give me blood. Quickly. Quickly, I say. Why are thou dozing off, thou dolt? She has no qualms about it. The vampire is talking as if it would be natural for me to do so. I made one step back. No problem. I should be able to escape. I should be able to get away. Even if the opponent is a vampire, a monster. If her arms and legs are cut off, I should be able to get away to begin with. She shouldn't even be able to chase me. I just need to run. That's what I have been doing all this time. With just that, I can deny this reality. And then, with one foot already stepping backwards, no. No way. That moment. Her eyes looked very frail. As if the coldness of before was just a lie. Will thou not help me? A ragged dress. Arms and legs cruelly plucked out. She doesn't have a shadow even if illuminated by a streetlight, a monster. However, www.bakatsuki.org web link 13/20. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 003 Bakatsuki. I thought that blonde girl was beautiful. I thought she was pretty. I was charmed from the bottom of my heart. I couldn't look away from her. Moreover, I couldn't move my feet. Not because I froze, or because they won't stop shaking. It's just that I can't move them. No. No. That haughty attitude of before crumbled from her eyes, which had a golden color like the hair. Tears begin to fall in large drops. Like a child. She started to sob. No, 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 I do not want to die, I do not want to die, I do not want to die. Save me, save me, save me. Please, I beg thee, if thou save me, I will do everything thou sayest. She was shouting in pain. Unashamedly. As if I was already out of her sight. Degrading herself, she screams. She bawls. I cannot die, I cannot die, I do not want to vanish, I do not want to disappear. No. Someone, there is no guy who would save a vampire. No matter how much she screams, your heart must not be moved. Because you'll die, you know. All your share of blood. Although I have never been scared while donating blood. I didn't like it. www.bakatsuki.org web link 14/20. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 003 Bakatsuki. I don't even like to burden myself with a fellow human, a monster is even worse. I can't carry a burden so heavy. Try to burden yourself with a vampire. Just how much would your human strength decrease? The tears flowing out started turning red like blood. I don't understand why. But that might be a sign death is coming. Death for a vampire. Tears of blood. I am sorry, 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 I am sorry. Finally, her words of plea have turned into apologies. What is she apologizing to? Who is she apologizing to? But I couldn't stand watching her. Watching her apologizing like that, to an unknown being. Perhaps. She is a being that shouldn't do so. She is not a being that should die in such an unsightly way. Way. At this point, screaming that, I started running. I forced my feet which couldn't move to move, and turning my back on her, I ran away with all my might. I could still hear her voice apologizing behind my back. Am I the only one who can hear her voice? Won't someone else be called out by that voice and go there? www.bakatsuki.org web link 15/20. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 003 Bakatsuki. Kiss Hotasaro Lagarayan Hartenderblade. Should I help her? Impossible. I'll die. Besides, she's a monster. A vampire. There is no need to save her, right? I know that already. I throw the paper bag I was carrying in a garbage stop a little further. The bag that was holding inside the 2 euro books. It is courtesy to dump your trash in the morning, but the garbage doesn't get collected on Sunday anyway. Still, choosing a garbage stop was a minimum of decency. Perhaps some lucky middle schooler will pick it up. It's a waste, but I don't need it anymore. That is to say, it would be a problem if I carried it with me. I'm going to die in a moment, as if I could carry with me Eurobooks. There is no trip one must be as careful as when returning home after the purchase of Eurobooks. I should have realized it. My strength as a human now hit the ground. While returning to that street light, even from my eyes, spontaneously, large tears started to drop. My parents. My 2 little sisters. I avoided human contacts, and in a moment like this the people who I can think of are just these, and, despite that there are only 4 people, it is enough to make me cry. Family members that I don't have very good bonds with. www.bakatsuki.org web link 16/20. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 003 Bakatsuki. Especially after I entered high school and became a dunce, a very strange yet unavoidable gap formed between me and my parents. I neither dislike them nor hate them. I think it is the same for them. It's just that a gap formed. It often happens during puberty. I can accept this view, but if I knew this was going to happen, I would have spoken to them more. Quietly sneaking out of the house, and then become a missing person. Even if I threw them away, my sisters will probably guess that I was out buying Eurobooks and something happened to me on the way back. It's okay. Under no circumstance will they bring shame on the family. I loved you, my sisters. I wipe my tears. Actually, thinking about it, ending up with few people to remember worked for the better. If I ineptly had things like friends, time might run out. Conversely speaking, it was because I could build only this extent of human relations that right now I am able to make this choice, I thought. Back to that streetlight. The blonde vampire was still there. She wasn't crying anymore. She wasn't even making a sound. She was still sobbing though. It seems she already gave up. Don't give up, stupid. While calling her out, I rushed over to her. I leaned in front of her, and then I personally offered my neck. www.bakatsuki.org web link 17/20. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 003 Bakatsuki. It's you who have to handle the rest. Huh. She opened her eyes. Surprise dominated her face. Can I? Did you think you couldn't, you idiot? Shit. Why? Why did it turn out like this? It is obvious why. It's because I never did anything, because I just lived thoughtlessly. I scream. I scream what I really think. I have never had a reason to keep living no matter what. I have never had a reason to give priority to my life. Even if I died, it won't have any impact on the world. My life is not beautiful. It is not pretty. In that case, I should die in order to keep this beautiful thing alive. That's the conclusion. I'm a worthless human. While a vampire is a higher being, right? In my next life, I will be successful. I will get the essentials down, I will skillfully weave human relations, I won't feel guilt for every little thing, I will be able to do things unintentionally without worrying, I won't have qualms about having things my way, I will be able to blame all bad things to other people, I will reincarnate as that kind of person, and that's why. I said. At least. Saying so yourself was the pride of a lower class being. I will save you, suck my blood. www.bakatsuki.org web link 18/20. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 003 Bakatsuki. It's all yours, don't leave a drop, suck all of it. She. Kiss hot Hasarola Urian Hartenderblade. It's only my personal assumption, but probably for the first time in her life she thanked another being that wasn't herself. Thank you. A sharp pain went through my neck. I realized I was being bitten by her. My consciousness vanishes at once. Then, with my last ounce of consciousness, I remembered. Hainkawa Tsubasa. If I ineptly had things like friends, time might run out. It was close. If I remembered her a bit earlier, I might not have been in time. Well, whatever. Though it lasted less than 10 minutes, though it was very brief, dying while remembering my encounter with Hainkawa might not be so bad. No, in this case, I'm not thinking at her underwear. Would you ever cut me some slack about it? Let me be cool at least in the end. Thus the short life of Araragi Koyomi, 17 years and something, abruptly, without any prelude or previous notice, came to an end, or so it should have happened. Translator's notes. 1. From the Japanese proverb "you can't get the tiger's cub without entering the tiger's den," meaning nothing ventured, nothing gained. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 19/20. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 003 Bakatsuki. Back to 002, return to main page, forward to 004, recuperate to www.bakatsuki.org web link. Title equals Monogatari _ series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi _ Vamp _ 003 and olded equals 401798. Dernier modification de cette page le 24 November 2014 en 1956. Le contenu est disponible sous licence TLG Translation Common Agreement v.0.4.1 sauf mention contraire. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 20/20. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004. De Bakatsuki. 004. I suddenly regained consciousness. It really feels like being reborn. No, a better way of saying it would be it feels like being alive again. Ah. It was a dream. I wanted to say something like that. Of course, it wasn't a dream. If it was a dream, then the place where I regained consciousness would be my room. But this place isn't my room. It's a place I have never seen before. My sisters who would wake me up every morning weren't here either. But I felt like going back to sleep, until I've woken up from this dream. So, is this a ruin? I realize that it's the inside of some sort of man-made building. The windows were sealed up by thick boards using nails, the fluorescent lights on the ceiling were all broken. Then I realized myself. I was sleeping on the floor. This floor was made of linoleum. There were cracks all over it. I moved my head, Taking a look around my surroundings. What is that thing hanging on the wall? www.bakatsuki.org web link 1/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. A blackboard. And desks. Chairs. A school classroom. I say it's a school, but it isn't. Nao Itsuhai, this I can still tell. Although there is this feeling that this isn't a school. I am an active high school student no matter what. Even if it's not my own school, I can understand when it's the same. That's why this place, I can tell whether or not this is a school. With that being said, what is it? It's not a school, but a place where there is a blackboard, and a large number of desks and chairs. Aha, I know. This is the atmosphere of a cram school. The building of a cram school. But with that being said, no matter how you look at it, it's a closed-down cram school. Windows, fluorescent lights, it feels like a collapsed cram school. Probably because it was too dark. I could only see that much. Too dark? Huh. Why could I inside a room that has its windows sealed, and where there isn't a single beam of light, see so clearly? I know it was very dark. I could tell there definitely wasn't any light. Initially I shouldn't even be able to see my own fingers in this very dark situation, but, I could see. I could see very clearly. No. But is this really how it is? It's probably because my eyes just opened, so my senses are still not right. While I was in this unnatural train of thought, I was getting up. www.bakatsuki.org web link 2/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. Hurts. At that moment, I bit the insides of my mouth. Why are my canine teeth so long? I'll stick my finger in my mouth to check. So when I move my finger, my hand also moves. At the moment I realized sleeping on the arm I was going to move, was a little girl. Little girl? Ah. It really is a little girl. Her age is about 10 years old. Wearing a fitting dress, a blonde girl skin that's the kind of white where it's like it's transparent. Shushu, lightly breathing. She was asleep. Sleeping sweetly. I completely don't understand the situation. Why am I here? Also, where is this place, and who is this blonde girl? I don't know any of this, but I can be sure that this current situation right now is not okay. If it's just a girl then it's okay. But with a girl that I've never seen before, this situation already has an illegal taste to it. Hey, wake up. With the blonde girl's body, I started holding her in a place that wouldn't be a problem, like the arms, and started shaking. www.bakatsuki.org web link 3/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. Then, the blonde girl, really unwillingly said. 5 more minutes. A blonde girl that says such a built-in phrase. She went back to sleep. Like I said, wake up. I didn't care about her, so I continued to shake the blonde girl's body. Until I'm good. How long do you want to sleep? About 4,600 million years. Another Earth will arise. I screamed the rebuke, then covered my mouth in a panic. That's right. Thinking closely, isn't it bad if I woke her up right now? While the girl is sleeping, I'll use this chance to find a way to solve this problem myself. No matter how I look at it, this is the best method. I used the word solve, but I don't even know where the problem is. First of all, I looked at the watch on my left wrist. So, right now it's --4:30. No, if it's a watch, I can't figure out if it's in the morning or the afternoon. Cell phone, found it? The time the screen showed was 16:36. Date is March 28th. Well, I remembered the last time I checked my cell phone, at that time the date just switched, it was March 26th. That means 2 days have already passed? No. Even if this isn't a dream, just how much of this is real? www.bakatsuki.org web link 4/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. So, that memory up till when is it correct? This time, in order not to wake the blonde girl, I lightly pulled myself out from under her head. First I need to confirm what this place is. I walked towards the room's classroom door without making any sounds. The door was unlocked. Actually, it's more like one of the doors was loose. In terms of a door, it's really unreliable. The possibility of being imprisoned in a mysterious facility was gone with that. It sounds silly, but it's really scary. Before we talk about the cute blonde girl, kidnapping a guy like me won't earn anyone anything. After I exit the door, I saw a stairwell. Written on the floor here was 2F. Second floor. There were stairs going up and going down. I thought about which direction I should go. Usually you'll go for the first floor. First, if you can't exit this building you can't do anything else. There seemed to be an elevator across from the stairs, but there's no need to confirm, that elevator won't work. I went down the stairs. Well, the phone book inside my cell phone still has Hanekawa's number and email there. That shows the meeting with Hanekawa after the closing ceremony in the afternoon was real. Then the even further past memory should be real too. That pair of panties definitely wasn't a dream. Although it felt the same as a dream. The money inside my wallet lowered, and the receipt is here. That means, the thing about buying female magazines for young people was real too. But, I pretended to not notice that and continued speaking. But, what happened after that, doesn't look real at all. Even if it wasn't a dream. It is still possible I messed up something? Like say a woman was hit by a car, and then I saw it, and fainted right on the spot. www.bakatsuki.org web link 5/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. Although it's a bit forced, however it has a bit of reason. Especially since it was my first time. Then, with an unconscious me, someone moved me to here. No, it's not like that. I mean, this kind of development is impossible. For something like this, you'll be fine if you call an ambulance normally. But, the time shown by my cell phone was correct. Oh no, away from home for 2 days, feeling should be 3 days. Although this isn't the first time I have slept outside for no reason, 3 days is almost across the danger line. Thinking back to my sister's weird behaviors, it could possibly be very cute, but I need to report back. At this moment I once again thought about leisurely things. But this thought, at the instant I walked out of the building, turned to thin air. Dodging the rubble scattered near my feet, metal pieces, glass pieces, boards and cans that I can't read, and cardboard boxes. But, why can I see in such a dark place, outside of the building, the instant I appeared in the dense grass where there is no one at that moment? Body. My whole body combusted. I should have realized. The evening sun, which I can already call it that. Why is it so blinding? But it was already too late. My body combusted. Jahahahahahahahaha. I used a scream that isn't like a cry. I can't say it hurts. Hair, skin, flesh, bone, everything combusted. It was burning. In an incredible speed burning. Ahahahahahahaha. Vampire. Weak against the sun? www.bakatsuki.org web link 6/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. A dark being that is a vampire, can't beat the sun? That's why I said no shadow. But what does that have to do with me, idiot? Towards me who is trying to extinguish the flames on my body, and using a lot of knowledge and rolling on the ground, I think I read somewhere that you can extinguish the flames on yourself like that. Inside the building, a sound like that rang. I looked up. As I was burning, moisture already gone, using these eyes, I looked at the place where the sound was coming from. Right there was the blonde girl who was just sleeping. The girl looked at me with noble eyes, towards me. Come back here quickly. Screamed that. With that being said, because it hurt too much, my body couldn't move according to my will. Seeing me like that, the girl suddenly decided, she dashed towards the outside of the building. At that moment, just like me, the blonde girl's body combusted too. But, she didn't care about herself, running towards me, then held me who had collapsed, and just dragged. The flames got bigger as it burned. She was dragging me just like that. I felt her strength. Strength that was bigger, compared to normal kids. Such small arms, should be praised for having such strong brawn, but it didn't have enough power to carry me. Just dragging. Burning, while dragging. Burning but still able to use strength, indeed a big character, but, even with that, the girl dragged me to the inside of the building, that means away from the sunlight, and it was after a certain amount of time. The real surprise was what happened after. www.bakatsuki.org web link 7/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. My body. And the blonde girl's body surrounding flames, in the instant it entered the shade disappeared like magic. Not just that, not even burn marks were left. Surrounded by such incredible flames. Not even the clothes were burned. The hooded parka and camouflage pants. Like there was nothing. The blonde girl's soft dress, was in the same situation too. Really? Towards a dazed me the blonde girl spoke. What kind of idiot would suddenly walk right under the sun? I take my eyes off you for a second, and you do something like that? Dost thou have a death wish? A normal vampire would evaporate in an instant. Don't let there be another time where you go out when the sun is there. Having immortal powers, you'll burn, regenerate in an eternal loop. Whether the regeneration power runs out or the sun disappears first, you'll still get a taste of what hell is like. So, that is what it means to be an immortal vampire. Vampire. Then, indeed this, wasn't a dream nor a mistake. Then, you are. Blonde hair, dress. Then cold eyes. No, the age is too different. The dying her that I saw, even if I can't accurately determine her age, but with just looks, it's at least 27 years old. It's totally different from the 10-year-old her. Moreover, the limbs. Right arm, right leg, left leg, the blonde girl has them. www.bakatsuki.org web link 8/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. The 10-year-old girl, has these limbs like sticks covered in flesh. Compared to the her with missing limbs it's clearly different. But there are similarities. For example, the insides of her mouth when she talks, there are white teeth and the like. Akem. She nodded her head. Suddenly using a confident attitude, she raised her chest and said. It is I, Kishatasarolarian Hartenderblade, you can call me Hartenderblade. Then she continued with a shocking speech. I've only created 2 subordinates in 400 years. Looking at your regeneration powers, you turned out pretty good. There doesn't seem to be any signs of going berserk either. It's just that it was a bit worrisome when you wouldn't open your eyes. Subordinate. Yes, so thou Now that I think about it, I don't know thy name. Well. The name you had up till now, doesn't hold much meaning to the you now. Anyways, servant. She laughed. Miserably laughed. Welcome, to the world of night. Araragi Koyami's a little over of 17-year life, should have just ended. But, it wasn't like that. It's just that, in a way it ended. I felt that the meaning changed a little. I just like how it was written in words, was reborn. Vampire. Manga, movie, games, like veins that scatter endlessly to more than half of the people. It's an ancient being. www.bakatsuki.org web link 9/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyami Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. But, to me, to a high schooler in this generation, vampires are rarely heard about. You can almost say absolutely unknown. Just like what the name suggests, a blood-sucking demon. At best, it doesn't like the sun, has no shadow. That much I know. Moreover, it's something I realized when I talked to Hanekawa. And then what was it? Right, doesn't like garlic? I'm not sure. That's why I said I don't know anything. When a vampire sucks blood, the thing about the one being sucked will turn into a vampire. If blood was sucked, you'll become a comrade. If blood was sucked, you'll become a subordinate. To force humans to give up humanity, I totally didn't know. Comrade. Subordinate. I thought I'd die for sure. If one person's amount of blood was offered, of course you'll die. It was because I had the determination to die, that I stuck out my neck to her. But who would have thought? The determination to become a vampire, I had none. But, there is no point in saying this, just like regret standing in front of you. I, after having her suck my blood, absolutely absurdly, turned into a vampire. No need for proof. This body that combusts under the sun. This body that burns and then instantly regenerates. These eyes that can see clearly in the dark. Then the canine teeth inside my mouth, fangs. With only these things, it's clear enough evidence. www.bakatsuki.org web link 10/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyami Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. Things like having a shadow or not, there's no need. Where is this? But. To this idiot Araragi Koyami, that's me, let's not face this reality at the start. First start asking her from this point. Second floor. The place where I regained consciousness, the place the two of us returned to. At least this place is a ruin for sure. In this 4-floored building, window sealed by boards. In other words, it seems to be a room where sunlight can't enter. Although I can regenerate, it's better if I avoid combusting. Didn't she use the term evaporate? While turning her blonde hair, the vampire started to speak. Indeed, although I call this place a cram school - but a few years ago it closed down. Right now it's just a ruin. Like that, it became convenient for hiding. Pun. So it was a cram school. Then a ruin. But, hiding. What a weird phrase. It's like we had to hide. In order to look after an unconscious me, she chose an empty place. Then, kiss shot, next question. Wait. Kiss shot stopped me. Didn't I let you call me Hartenderblade? www.bakatsuki.org web link 11/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyami Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. Too long. Hartenderblade. I bit my tongue twice just saying that line. How can a name cause you to bite yourself? So, kiss shot is shorter, or, can I not call you that? No. Kiss shot seems to have said something, but she shook her head. The blonde hair lightly shook. Well, fine, You can call me whatever you want, I have no reason to refuse. What an intriguing line. Ah, a foreigner's last name, is it Kishshot or Acerola Orion? With that being said, is it okay to just call her that suddenly? But would a human's way of thinking work with a vampire? Then, what is the next question? Well, I became a vampire. The second question is the question I needed to ask the most. For facing reality, it's a very important question. If it's not like this, I can't seriously accept it. The one I wanted to ask the most is another. Of course. Kishshot answered clearly. There is no point in explaining now, thou art my subordinate, my servant. Be honored. Servant. Although it was just said. Servant. Inconceivably, I don't feel like hating it. Then why did you turn into a child's body? Last night, no, 2 nights ago. When I met you, you looked like an adult. I'm sorry, I look like a child. No, I don't mean that. Just like an adult. Although the limbs were cut off. www.bakatsuki.org, web link 12/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. That's what I want to say. Thy blood, I sucked it all. She showed me her teeth, then she laughed. It's not like it's something to laugh about, laugh. But this degree wasn't enough, that's why we became connected. Even with that, I only kept my life. With that being said, I kept the minimal degree of immortality. The majority of vampire powers became limited, so inconvenient. Even with that, life was kept, she said. Don't wanna die. The image of her crying and calling suddenly crossed in my head. Right now, inside Kishshot's speech, I can't see that image at all. Right now I realized. Right now I just realized. I really helped this woman. Helped, a vampire. Sacrificed my own life. My limbs are like this, only the shape regrew. Well, the insides are empty. With that being said, it should be no problem. However, the master-servant relationship needs to be clear. Servant. Even though I'm like this, I'm a vampire that has lived for 500 years. The master-servant relationship should be clear. You, being turned into a vampire just recently, should never speak with a peer-like speech. Ha, ha. Huh, an ambiguous answer. Do you really understand? I understand. Then, as a sign of obedience to me, rub my head. She said majestically. Rub head. www.bakatsuki.org, web link 13/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. Wow, her hair is really soft. Although there is a lot of hair, it's really smooth. That's enough. That's the sign of obedience. You don't know that? She looked at me with contempt. Vampires use a different set of rules. So ignorant. But regardless of ignorance, thou art smart for being obedient towards me. I really created a good servant. But, servant. Kishshot continued speaking. Staring at me with cold eyes. Thou saved my life. The poor and exposed me, was saved by thee. So, I'll specially allow you usage to your ill-mannered tone, and allow you to call me Kishshot. Calling you like that, so calling her Acerola Orion was better? It isn't a bad line, but, looking at it, there is no need for another title. But, I took note of what Kishshot said. Limbs are like this. Just the shape regrew. Indeed, although the body of the 10-year-old girl is rather small, but the Kishshot now still has limbs. Just the shape? Inside is empty? Moreover, in the future, I might still need to borrow thy power. Ha! What was that? Spoke at the part I took note? www.bakatsuki.org, web link 14/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. Hey, basically. No, you shouldn't be so excited, servant. With you being a servant, it is evident for you to serve your master. If thou rubbed my head, isn't that obedience to me? She said it with her chest raised. Well, although I say chest raised, it's only a 10-year-old's body. Absolutely no boobs. Although I say chest raised, it has the feeling of a stretched back. Also, chest raised, this phrase means raising your chest and speaking out. I don't see that meaning at all. But, there is no use no matter how much I rebuked. I didn't get a normal answer. This matter I'll leave for later. It's about time for the question I want to ask the most. The padding for this question has already been set up. Why turn me into a vampire? I had the determination to be killed when you sucked my blood. The traffic lights changed too. Faces from all sorts of people crossed, although there were only 4 people. Ah, isn't it 5 people? I can't remember. It's nothing, no reason. After your blood gets sucked by a vampire, no matter who you are, you'll turn into a vampire. That's it? So it's like that. It's like that. I struck my neck out to her? Had the determination to be sucked dry. Also the determination to be killed. But the determination to not be human, do I have it? www.bakatsuki.org web link 15/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. To me this is just right. Do you know why? Kiss shot of course didn't change, she even spoke with an arrogant tone. To thee, it is something you have to do. Like you said, borrow my power. The matter where you have to borrow my power. Right. Although thy blood by itself allowed my body to recover the me right now, is far from full power. So from now on, thee must take action. From now on? Of course. Finishing prior work, then move. That's me, the iron-blooded, hot-blooded, cold-blooded vampire, Kiss Hot Hasarolagarian Hartenderblade. Title, too long. With the name added, how many letters are there? I think just cold-blooded fits. I should unknowingly, I wanted to ask, but if it's like this, the topic will go the wrong way. If Kiss Shot wanted to do that, I think it's right too, but I have more important matters to ask her. As the answers to the padding questions, there is still some use. So I asked the question I most want to ask. The thing I most want to hear. The decision is final, this is what I said. Tightly stared at her. Towards the answer I already have the determination. I can't turn back into a human. So. www.bakatsuki.org web link 16/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. Kiss Hot didn't answer with the same reaction I had imagined. I thought she'll be mad, or think it's weird, things like being confused, those were the reactions I had predicted, but, to let me understand, she nodded her head. That's what I thought. Said it like that. The prediction on this side was wrong, but the other side's prediction was right. Even the point about what I'll ask. I was seen through from the beginning. I can understand why thou wouldst have these feelings. Can understand. A higher being. It's just as what Hanekawa said, at least, looking at it from the beginning, her being a vampire indeed saw humans as a lower being compared to them. According to her, humans are a lower being. Then why be unhappy about becoming a vampire, stuff like that. Towards wanting to turn back into a human, stuff like that. I thought she would say something like that, but I understand. Kiss Shot said that. I was also invited to become God, but I refused. Gee, God. It's something from the past. Anyway, she said that. Although we're back to the original topic, but this thing seems like something I shouldn't touch. Wanting to turn back into a human, in other words, turn back into what you were originally. That's what I think. Although I said welcome to the night world, but I didn't think thou wouldst accept it. www.bakatsuki.org web link 17/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 004 Bakatsuki. So it's like that. I once again noted I didn't listen to the answer to the question. Then, what can I do? I can turn back. Kiss shot, lightly said. The eyes looking at me were still cold. You can say its sight is piercing. Turn back. But staring at me with a sight like that, she said can turn back, so she declared, clearly. I swear on my name. Of course, servant. For that, you need to listen to me, as my servant you don't need to be shy, but, this isn't a command but a threat. If you want to turn back into a human, then be obedient to me. Then of course she laughed miserably. Back to 003, return to main page, forward to 005, recuperate to www.bakatsuki.org web link. Title equals Monogatari _ series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi _ vamp _ 004 and old it equals 401800. Dernier modification de set page LE 24 November 2014 à 2008. LE contenu ESTDISB oneable sous license TLG translation common agreement V.0.4.1 soft mention contraire. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 18/18. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 005 Bakatsuki. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 005. De Bakatsuki. 005. Dramaturgy. Episode. Guillotine Cutter. Those are the names of the people who took Kiss Hot's body parts away, or so I was told. Kiss Shot described them to me, though it was difficult to picture them from just her words. Like using a different country's language to explain an abstract concept, I was left befuddled about the three men. Still, they were simple compared to the more important matters we'd discussed. The man called Dramaturgy stole her right leg. The man called Episode stole her left leg. The man called Guillotine Cutter stole her arms. The three people each stole an essential part. They are the reason she was left in such a poor state. If she hadn't sucked my blood, she would have certainly died. An immortal body that could have died. This paradox is one Kiss Shot knows best. She had, at the time, known determinately that she would die. With what little life she had left, using that beaten body. Escaping those three men would have been difficult. Why? I asked inadvertently during her explanation. Why steal your limbs? I'm a vampire. Ye are human, thou art not one anymore, thou art what they call a monster now. Kiss Shot said definitely. And of course, they exorcise monsters. www.bakatsuki.org web link 1/11. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 005 Bakatsuki. Those three people specialize in exorcising vampires. They make a living by killing those like me. Beings that specialize in exorcising vampires, thou shouldst have heard of them before. Should have. Must have. If there were vampires, there were those who went against them. Thinking back, I don't think I'd ever heard of them, but there was a chance I'd recalled it from somewhere. Then, we need to defeat them. What kind of idiot talk is that? Do you have a death wish? Although the point about having my limbs taken away is heartbreaking. I don't have much regeneration power left in this situation, how can I fight? So that's it? Like I said. Kiss Shot naturally continued from before. I just need thee to face those three people and retrieve my limbs. Huh. I was speechless. Alright, it can't possibly be that easy. Looks like I didn't explain it clearly to thee. If thou wants to turn back into a human, I need to have my full power restored. Basically, back to my complete form. For that, my limbs are needed. Bulletin, but I'm no good with things like fighting. I didn't do anything bad, but my tone seems like I'm making an excuse. I'm not unathletic, but I'm not athletic either. My body is as you see here. I have never even been in a fight before. Also, most importantly, won't I get exorcised? I was presently a vampire as well. The chance of that happening was huge. My opponents were skilled exorcists. Even if they spared me, an ex-human, it'd be impossible to get them to give me their spoils Kishot's limbs. Idiot, thy weakness only applied when thou wast still human, Kishot said tiredly. Thou right now art my subordinate, though thou art weak. In my current state thou couldst easily overpower me. Even though you're a vampire, you're weak. No. She said, irritated at my words. Indeed, she was a very easily angered person. www.bakatsuki.org web link to 11th. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 005 Bakatsuki. Based on my appearance now, thou makest rash judgments. Let me make myself completely clear. Among vampires I'm of the highest level. I'm called the Key Killer. Key Killer. Her current form made it difficult to imagine her as powerful. Also, what was Key? Some sort of monster? Regardless. Even if the presently weakened you isn't as strong as me. You're stronger than me at full power. Yet those three men were able to take away limbs from the you in complete form. I was ambushed by those three people. I underestimated them, totally underestimated them. Guys at that level, even with three people combined together, wouldn't have been my opponent. Basically. Kishot sighed angrily. As long as you fight them one-on-one, as singular opponents, you should be able to take them on. Honestly, it'll be easy. This kind of task is fair to turn you back into a human. I definitely wasn't convinced by her speech. I decided to take a nighttime stroll. This was a bit after the sun had set. Finally I was able to leave the abandoned cram school. Finally I was able to confirm my location. This cram school was on the border of the rural town that I lived in. That being said, this area wasn't underdeveloped. I didn't know why the cram school had been abandoned. I figured it got swallowed up by the bigger cram school in front of the station, and finally had to be foreclosed. Kishot found it fitting for a last-ditch hiding spot. I decided to phone home. Luckily, my little sister picked up. The older of the two. Tell everyone I'm spending break on a trip to find myself. I said bluntly. She agreed. I didn't think beforehand, and it took me a moment to realize I had just convinced my sister I was the type of person to take a trip to find myself. I must seem really pathetic. Just as I hung up, my younger little sister sent a text to me. My sisters were in middle school, so they didn't have cell phones. She used the living room computer to text me. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 3/11. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 005 Bakatsuki. To Oniakan. Sometimes people get lost, but, when you calm down you should think carefully about your actions. Where did TYL and MYTYL find the blue bird? My youngest sister was lecturing me. Receiving reprimanding texts like these really set me off. To add insult to injury, it wasted my phone's batteries. I wondered where could I recharge my cell phone. The charger was at home but I couldn't go back. All I could do was buy a charger at a convenience store. It's improbable that the cram school had electricity. All I could hope to do was buy a spare battery. If I could finish my mission before the batteries ran out, it shouldn't be a problem. They aren't a match for me, originally they aren't a match for me. They also aren't a match for you. Well, it should be easy, right? Although in the beginning I had trouble believing, my vampire powers truly existed. A demonstration of my abilities would result in a trip to the slammer and a night of police interrogation for sure. That is to say, the area was filled with abandoned buildings. Who cared if I vandalized them a little? That kind of thing. But, we're missing an important detail. I could feel Kishot's words wrap around me, the tension rising rapidly. Where are those three people? I prompted. Don't know. Don't know, she says. I mocked her. Superfluous worries are useless and unneeded. Just walk around outside, they will find you three vampire exorcising specialists. Finding a vampire for them is the same as raising a hand. Is that so? Just stick around. Night is when vampires' powers are most active. They are like moths to a flame. They'll definitely come toward thee. Right now, probably in order to find me, they are roaming around this town. Do it well and you'll meet them tonight. Kukuku. Kishot's intolerable laugh sounded strange. www.bakatsuki.org web link 4/11. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 005 Bakatsuki. Well, not having to find them really helped, although the term is to find a person. I'm not a person, therefore I hoped it'd be impossible. But, I'm sort of beginning to not pay attention to the rhythm of things. Shouldn't I be asking more questions? The thing about me becoming a vampire being an indisputable truth, for example. Unconsciously, I think about another topic. Can I really turn back into a human? Can no one be sure that Kishot isn't lying? Using me in order to retrieve her limbs, not satisfied with seeing me simply as food. She was the brain, and I was the limbs. The issue with that is Kishot wasn't giving me orders. She was threatening me. I could have not lent my power to her. But in order to prevent me from thinking that it was a waste of time, she was using my desire to turn back into a human to use me. She was using me as bait. She must have been lying. Using the matter of turning me back into a human. It's possible that Kishot was thinking like that. No. She turned me into a servant so she didn't need to go through the trouble. Wouldn't it just be an order, then? Couldn't be. Currently that girl is in a state where she basically can't use the powers of a vampire. That's why, if she doesn't lie, she can't get me to obey. Well, it isn't impossible. She may look 10, but she certainly can't be treated like it. Thinking back to when she was in her original form, her expression looked very intellectual. At least she seemed as though she lived 500 years, like she said. Her thinking wasn't slow at all. Also, I hadn't asked any important questions. I only thought stuff relating to turning back into a human, avoiding the important things. I forgot to ask Kishot why she came to this small rural town in Japan. Monsters really are strange. But aren't vampires Western monsters? Aren't those three brought here by Kishot too? No matter how I say it, it's all speculation. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 5/11. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 005 Bakatsuki. Whatever Kishot is conspiring, I, right now, still can't trust her, so for now I'll just do as she says. The initiative is totally within her control. First get her limbs back, you'll deal with the rest later. No matter how much of it is wrong, I don't see how those three vampire exorcising specialists could be lies. Following what Kishot said, I turned myself into bait. I went somewhere where there weren't any roads. At that moment, at a fork in the road. I thought the vampire Kishot Xirolai Ryan Hartenderblade hadn't thought it through. Although she had lived 500 years, her thinking was still slow. If I took them on one byon, I should be able to take them. She had said that, but I wondered where the evidence was to back up that claim. She had been defeated by them. So doesn't that refute it? I felt like my brain was breaking. But it was already too late. Or maybe, just in time. It was only a second beforehand that I realized what was happening. Kishot said I could finish tonight if I worked hard. But, thinking about it carefully, I could die tonight. My second death. What should I do? First, I noticed the one on my right. A giant standing over 2 meters, both hands carrying a giant wavy-shaped blade, walking towards me. His figure was enormous. I could use his jeans as a sleeping bag. His shirt was probably made of 5 times the amount of fabric as mine. He wore a headband across his bangs to hold back his messy hair. A man made entirely out of muscle, a stone-cold face. Holding onto his wavy blades, he stared at me. He matched Kishot's description. This man is the one named Dramaturgy. The man who stole Kishot's right leg. He grunted. I then noticed the man to my left. He was completely opposite of Dramaturgy. A slim man was walking towards me. Despite a naive face, his stare was sharp. www.bakatsuki.org